Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing what is a forward market. A forward market is a place where exchange of currencies takes place at a specified future date. To enter into a transaction in the forward market or to participate in the forward market, you should undergo a forward contract. A forward contract can be between a bank and a customer, or it can be between one bank and another bank. A forward contract means what is a forward contract? A forward contract calls for delivery, two important features, calls for delivery at a fixed future date of a specified amount of one currency. This is the nature of a forward contract. In a forward contract, the contract is entered into for a delivery of a specified amount of currency at a fixed future date. Of course, the delivery of one currency means giving away the other currency. So, of a specified amount of one currency against the other. So, these two features make a forward contract. Also, we need to remember that the exchange rate of the forward contract is always fixed at the time the contract is entered into. Exchange rate is fixed. Exchange rate is fixed at the time the contract is entered into. The transaction in which the exchange of currencies takes place at a specified future date subsequent to the spot date is called a forward transaction. It is also known as outright forward transaction. Now, these forward transactions, all forward contracts, are available in different maturities. Commonly, they are available in 30-day maturity, 60-day, 90-day, 180 or 360-day maturities. If you want maturities other than this, if you want some odd maturities, then you may approach the bank, negotiate with them and fix whatever maturities you like. Again, all this depends on your negotiating capacity, your bargaining power and your credibility in the market. Otherwise, for everyone, for the rest of all people, in a regulated exchange, the maturities listed here are available. A forward contract with a 30-day delivery means 30-day delivery or 1 month delivery. It means the exchange of currencies takes place after 1 month or after 30 days from the date of contract. If it is if there is a contract of 2 months or 60 days, it means the exchange takes place after 2 months from the date of contract. Now, the date of contract will be calculated. The date of contract or the due date, the date on which the forward contract expires, will be calculated based on the spot date. For instance, if I am entering into a 1 month forward contract on March 22nd, 1 month forward contract. If I am entering into this contract, the contract will expire on April 24th. If I am entering into a contract on May 27th, a 2 month contract, then the contract will expire on May, June, July 29. If it is a holiday, now these are the due dates: April 24th and July 29th for their respective contracts. If these due dates are a holiday, then the contract will be due on the next working day. Suppose July 29 is a holiday, then the 2-month forward contract entered into on May 27th will expire on July 30. This is the next working day if July 30 is a working day. There is an exception to this holiday rule. If the next day of such due date runs into the next month, then the due date is advanced to the preceding day, not the succeeding day. Let's say instead of July 29th, let's say the contract expires on July 31st, which means the contract should have been entered into on May 29th. July 31st, the contract expires, and July 31st is a holiday. It doesn't. You cannot say, in this case, you cannot say that the due date will be the next working day. Next working day will be like August 1st. This is not the next working day. If in this case the next working day is running into the next month, if such due date runs into the next month, then due date is advanced to the preceding day and not the succeeding day. So in this contract, if July 31st is a holiday, August 1 is not the due date. Instead, July 30th will be considered as the due date. It will be the preceding day and not the succeeding day. How a forward transaction works with an example. Here we have two companies, a company in the US and a company in the UK. US company is the importer, UK company is the exporter. The value of the invoice is £1 million. In a typical forward transaction, a US company buys textiles from England with a payment invoice of £1 million. Let us say these pounds are due in 90 days. In 90 days, the US company has to make payment to UK, payment of £1 million. Thus here, the importer, US company, is having a short position in pounds. It owes pounds for future delivery. Suppose the spot price of the pound is $1.71. Currently, the spot rate is $1. 1 pound equals 1.7271. Let's take 7171 US dollars. This is the current spot rate, current prevailing rate in the market. The payment has to be done after 90 days. And today's rate is 1 pound equals 1.71 US dollars. Now during the next 90 days, the pound might rise against the dollar or it might fall against the dollar. If the pound rises, the textile order cost will increase. Pound falls, the textile order cost will decrease. There is an exchange risk here. You do not know in which way the currency will move, whether it will favor you or whether it will be a disadvantage to you. To guard against this, the importer can hedge his or her exchange risk immediately by negotiating a 90-day forward contract with the bank. Instead of thinking what would be the price of pound against dollar on the 90th day, US company can go to a bank, negotiate a forward contract for delivery of pounds on the 90th day and fix the exchange rate now. Let's say the exchange rate fixed is 1 pound equals 1.72 US dollars. This is the exchange rate of the forward contract, meaning the bank will be giving 1 million pounds to the US company in exchange of 1.72 million US dollars, 1,720,000 US dollars. According to this forward contract, in 90 days, the bank will give the importer 1 million, which the importer will then use it to pay to the UK exporter, and the importer will give the bank 1.72 million US dollars, which is the dollar equivalent of 1 million pounds at the forward rate of 1.72 US dollars. In this transaction, the importer is a US resident. He will only have US dollars. To pay pounds, he has to first acquire pounds and then make a payment to the exporter. When we speak about acquiring pounds, we say a person is taking a long position. When we speak about giving away these pounds, we say the importer is taking a short position. So here in this example, in technical terms, the importer is offsetting a short position in pounds by going long in the forward market. Short position in pound because he has to give those pounds to the UK exporter, and in order to buy pounds for giving, he will have to take a long position in pounds, and that long position is taken in the forward market. In effect, the use of forward contract for the importer enables to convert a short underlying position in pounds to a zero net exposed position with the forward contract receipt of 1 million pounds, cancelling out the account payable of 1 million pounds and leaving the importer with a net liability of only 1.72 million US dollars. I'll explain it to you with a T account. I'll draw an account here. Let's say this is an importer's account. It's a T account. This side, the right side is payments, the left hand side is receipts. Now, because of the textile order, importer is liable to pay 1 million pounds. 1 million pounds. This is his payment liability. The importer, if he has to directly go to the spot market, use his US dollars and buy pounds, then he is exposed to exchange risk. To hedge that exchange risk, to make his future safe, for him to know what will be the exchange rate, he will go to the forward market and fix an exchange rate of 1 pound equals 1.72 dollars with his bank. He will fix this rate. Now, because of the forward contract, the importer will have to pay US dollars 1,720,000 US dollars to the bank, and bank in return will give the importer 1 million pounds. You see, in effect here, the forward contract is enabling the importer to convert a short position. This was the short position. he is converting the short position in pounds into a zero net exposed position because he is getting a receipt of 1 million pounds. So this and this cancels out. Now importer's liability is only to the extent of US dollar 1,720,000. This based on this T account, what we can see is the forward contract has allowed the importer to convert an unknown dollar cost into a known dollar cost. He did not know if the importer would have traded in the spot market, he would not have known what would be the exchange rate. He did not know what he had to pay in USDs. But now, because of the forward contract, he is sure that he has to pay only $1.72 million. Here's a graph of the importers which indicates the importer's dollar cost of the textile shipment and the gain or loss on the forward contract. The this image is from a textbook. Let's now see what the graph indicates. On the x-axis we have the value of dollars on the 90th day against pound, and on the y-axis we have the dollar cost of payment to the importer. Because of the forward contract, importer has already entered into a forward contract. Because of that, the exchange rate is fixed at 1 pound equals 1.72 US dollars. Therefore, the importer is obliged to spend 1.72 million USDs to get 1 million pounds and make payment. If on the 90th day the spot rate would have been 1.75, then the importer is actually making a profit here because of the forward contract. If he had not entered into a forward contract and if the spot price was 1.75, then he would have had to spend 1.75 million US dollars instead of 1.72 million US dollars for the textile shipment. Because he has entered into a forward contract now, the exchange rate is already fixed. He will be only spending 1.72 million USDs irrespective of what is the spot rate in the spot market. If it was 1.75, then he is gaining around 30,000 USDs. Similarly, if the dollar value was 1.69 on the 90th day, then he would have had to make lesser payments, spend less dollars if he were to transact in the spot market on the 90th day. But because he has already entered into a forward contract, he has to transact at $1.72 per pound. Therefore, if in the spot market on the 90th day it was 1.69, then he will be losing around 30,000 USDs. He will be losing. Here he would be gaining if the spot rate was more than the forward rate. He would be gaining. If the spot rate is less than the forward rate, then he would be losing. The gains and losses from long and short forward positions are related to the difference between the contracted forward price and the spot price of the underlying currency at the time the contract matures. In this case, the importer is committed to buy pounds at $1.72 per pound. If the spot rate in 90 days is less than $1.72, the importer will suffer an implicit loss on the forward contract because it is buying pounds for more than the prevailing value. However, if the spot rate uh, on the 90th day exceeds 1.72, if it becomes 1.73 or 1.74 or any of the rates above, then the importer will enjoy an implicit profit because the contract obliges the bank to sell the pounds at a price less than the current value. 3 points are worth noting here in this graph. First one, the gain or loss on the forward contract is unrelated to the spot rate of 1.71. The 1.71 rate, this was on the first day of the contract. The contract was the day on which the 90-day contract was entered into. This is irrelevant to the gain or loss on the forward contract. We calculate the gain or loss based on the forward rate here 1.72 and the spot rate prevailing on the day the contract matures, not the spot rates on the day when the contract was entered into. So the gain or loss on the forward contract is unrelated to the current spot rate of $1.71. Second, the forward contract gain or loss here exactly offsets the change in the dollar cost of the textile order that is associated with the movements in the pound's value. For example, here if the spot price of the pound in 90 days on the 90th day is $1.75, if 1.75 is the rate on the 90th day, then the importer's cost of delivery is $1.75 million. It should be $1.75 million. But because of the forward contract, he will only pay $1.72 million and get 1 million pounds. And the balance 1.75 minus 1.72, around 30,000 US dollars is his profit because of the forward contract. So if the spot rate is 1.75, then the dollar cost will be 1.75 million. Because of the forward contract, he will be paying 1.72 million and making a $30,000 profit. So it also equals to 1.75 million. Therefore, here the forward contract gain or loss exactly offsets the dollar cost of the textile order that is associated with the movements in the pound value. The net cost of the textile order when covered with the forward contract here is 1.72 million, no matter what happens to the spot exchange rate in 90 days. Third, the forward contract is not an option contract. Both parties must perform the agreed action here. Both the bank has to deliver pounds and the importer has to deliver dollars.